Well, what's on tap for today, folks? And as you can see, we're going to be talking about what's going on with the English language. Well, it looks like Cambridge Dictionary has decided to change the definition of a woman to sort of push the new woke liberal mantra for transgenderism. Well, here's a question, folks. When are we men going to get equal time? Right? I mean, when I think what we need to do is we need to call Cambridge and nicely just ask them and say, you know what? How come men aren't getting the same type of response? When are you going to change the definition of man or of men? I mean, right? We should have, the left always talks about what? Diversity, inclusion, equity, equality, diversity of thought, diversity of opinion. Well, my opinion is that we're always focusing. Why are we focusing on women all the time? We should. We need equal access. I would love for somebody to come up with a definition of a man or definition of men instead of the woke ideology. Put those down in the comments. What would be your definition of a man out there, folks? Or definition of men. Really, I'd really love to hear some great definitions out there. So put those down in the comments. But listen, if you haven't already done so today, you know what you're doing. You were watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh show here, and I'm your guest host for today's show. My name is Dr. Shaikh, and if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like, share this video. Hit the notification bell so you know when we have all our comments. Check out our other videos. You know the drill. So let's talk about this right now. Okay, so here it is, Cambridge Dictionary. Let's see what has Cambridge done? And I think they're following the footsteps of Merriam, folks. Merriam Dictionary early on started the whole wokeism with the new definition for women. So let's see. Well. What do we have here? Looks like the Cambridge Dictionary has gone down the same rabbit hole. They've changed the definition of woman. What? They want to appease who? They want to appease the progressives. They want to appease the moderates, the leftists, the socialists, the Marxists, academia, the hypocrites in Hollywood, right? The mainstream media. That's who they want to appease. They don't want to appease country club class A, right? They want to appease country club class. They don't want to appease just country class, flyover country. Forget about us, flyover country. They don't care about us. So the transgender radical movement, obviously. Now, we're not exactly sure when they say when they actually made the switch, but the definition now includes the following. And here it is, folks. So put this down. Make sure all your kids know about it because if they get tested on it and they say it wrong, they'll get the wrong marks, right? We all know that. So here's a new definition. An adult who lives and identifies as female, though they have said to have a different sex at birth. Now, they go on. The definition includes two following example sentences. Remember how you see when you watch a spelling bee and those kids are just so great, right? They're spelling all these words that we probably couldn't spell at all. And so they need a little bit extra time. So they ask, for the use of the word in a sentence. Then they ask for the syntax of the word, or they break it down right just so they can have a little bit of extra time to formulate their thoughts. Well, here are the two example sentences they're going to use now for the definition of a woman. And they are, I would like to know who came up with these two, right? Wouldn't you? She was the first trans woman elected to national office. Does that tell you anything about being trans, about being a woman? I mean, anybody can be elected to national office. You don't have to be a woman to do that. And Mary is a woman who was assigned male at birth. Boy, if that doesn't make your head spin a little bit. Mary is a woman who was assigned male at birth. Now, you better make sure you spell the word male right, because if you Mail, it could be that Mary was just a woman who was given her mail when she was born, right? Right? The U.S. Post Office just gave her mail. I mean, if you spell the word wrong, I don't know. Anyways, it just goes that if you go back to March, the Cambridge Dictionary only featured what they call the normative definition, an adult female human being. But the related words and phrases they talk about in the smart vocabulary section included charged words like gender reassignment and heteronormative. So here's a picture right here talking about this. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary, yep, having a gendered identity that is opposite of male. So it's updated its definition of female, meaning, so now female having a gender identity that's opposite to male. So you have to understand what is a male in order to understand what the opposite is, right? I mean, that's the only way you're going to understand the meaning of the words. Now, this was reported previously that Merriam-Webster had altered its own definition in the iconic Merriam-Webster Dictionary. It's mainstreaming transgender ideology. Now, it's including that what? To include having a gender identity that is opposite of male. The definition entry also says groups of females are made up of usually adult members of the female sex consisting of females. Then it says the definition of woman in the dictionary appears to remain the same, though, an adult female person. But then it has a separate entry for gender identity. A person's internal sense of being male, female, some combination of male or female, or neither male nor female. I mean, this is getting so confusing, folks. It really is getting confusing. And remember when before you start to see people talk about chest feeding, right? Instead of breastfeeding? Or how about instead of saying pregnant mothers, pregnant women, now you say pregnant people? Folks, this is just language gymnastics. So somebody can basically, say that, look, I'm woke. All right. Give me my street cred, for being woke. All right. I mean, this is basically the way that the left, the progressives, the media can say, look, I'm a good person. All right. I'll go along with what you're saying. So what if we say pregnant people? Inside, we know that it's moms, it's women that can only get pregnant. But if I go ahead and say that, I'm going to look good. I'm going to look nice. And that's what people look at. It's their feelings. They want to be invited to the parties and up in Manhattan and New York and DC. Right? So if you can say chest feeding instead of breastfeeding, you gain a few more friends on the other side. The same thing happens when you say, pregnant people. I mean, this is just amazing, folks, amazing. And that we talked about that was just a term that was used by many masculine identified trans people to describe the act of feeding their baby from their chest. As we saw, there are actual men who now try to breastfeed their babies. And it's just, I don't know, folks. I guess it's just a sign of the times. It's something that we're just going to have to, I guess this just, I'm at a loss for words right now. I really am. And we're talking about the definition of words. So, anyways, folks, listen, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. And I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Shaikh. And you know what? Let us know down in the comments. What did you think? What do you think is your definition of a woman? What is your definition of a man? What did you think your definition of is whatever it is out there? And that's really what it's about, folks. I guess right now we are free to change the rule. There are no rules anymore. Up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. Right is wrong, wrong is right. Black is white, white is black. Red is blue, blue is red. I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore. The the rules, the norms, everything, whatever you think you feel like, that's what it's all about, your feelings. Whatever you feel like, whatever feels good to you. Feels good to change the definition of a word to fit something else? Okay, go ahead and do it. That's just the way what's happening, folks. Anyways, I'll leave you with my final thought. When you're right, And we don't even know, what does the word right mean anymore? And when you're left, you're wrong? Or maybe the left is right and the right is wrong? Or the wrong is wrong and the left is left? Or right is right? Who knows anymore, folks? Anyways, take care and stay safe.